Hello, everyone, and welcome to Elish podcast.
Hi, everybody.
Maybe something is wrong with your energy balance, so you need to pick the charity that you don't really like.
Oh my God, a little bit smarter today.
I stopped doing the work. Something to read, courses was meaningless.
All is good.
We are starting a series of podcasts where we will be talking about energy balance for running the agency and for ourselves. Those are really closely intertwined for me. How is it for you? How do you distinguish between where is the energy balance that you need for work and the energy balance that you keep for yourself?
To be honest, I suck at it. So I'm still in the process of figuring out what's there with my energy, what is good for me when working, and how to keep my energy level after work so that I could live my life. Yeah, I'm still figuring it out. But you said that it is relevant to you, so I think you figured out some things for you. So I would love to hear your thoughts on
I
this.
think I figured out one single thing, and this is precisely why we're talking about it.
Cool.
We suck at it. So to be able to progress, we need to figure out it for ourselves, and talking about it would be the best way I know that will help us.
Oh yeah, this kind of the idea of a conversation that we discussed. So when we are getting into a conversation, we are trying to find a solution to improve something in our lives, whatever we are talking about, right?
Yes, I think I understand your concern because we have you with us, and it seems like the logical thing would be to share our awesome wisdom, but that's not how Elish podcast work. we we are a struggling business, and this podcast is for us to figure out how to run our business better, not specifically to teach anyone anything.
Yeah.
We need to figure it out for us first, and
share our journey with
you coming up on this journey means that we are on the same way, like the same developmental journey. I don't think I have achieved something on the front of energy balance that would let me be posing myself as an expert in that. Rather, I prepared speaking points and observed what it is that we do that we can bring our attention to and become better in energy balance, and therefore be effective with our work and with our life. And thank you for explaining why it is valid and important to keep attention there.
Yes, I think it's good to notice things and be aware of them. So it's really cool that we're aware that we suck at this topic. I mean, like keeping healthy work, life, energy balance. But being aware about it is good because now we can figure out like how to improve it. That's what I think.
One idea that I want to hear from you, I noticed how humble you are saying, oh, I suck at it. Oh, nice. All right. How would you measure against yourself a year ago in terms of energy balance? What does give you the permission to say, oh, I suck at it? Is it like pure, humble intent, or you don't see the progress?
Honestly, I just feel happy to admit that I'm bad at something. I used to be different because I was like, no, I know stuff and I'm smart and I know many things, but it was so hard for me to admit that I don't know something and I'm actually bad at something. So now I got this freedom to tell myself that, hey, I suck at it. And what's more cool about it is that I can share it publicly. Yeah, honestly,
Yeah, it
I
is
suck
quite
at it.
cool.
And I feel free now talking about it. So, but regarding your question, compared to 1 year ago, like I was worse. So I got much better over the last year. And I think now I'm maintaining or at least moving towards a healthier work-life energy balance for me.
That's good. So we have some ground to discuss. Today, I want to discuss 2 points. Let's start from the first one. So, setting up goals. What's your experience with this notion, and how did you first got into this meta? Oh, you need to set up goals. Because historically, I can imagine us hearing that idea in both contexts. There is toxic way to look at it, and there is the nice way, and there is your way. So I want to know, where are you in that? How did you meet this idea? I don't think it's simple at all.
Yeah, setting goals was never simple for me. I think I first came across the idea of that I need to set up goals probably a few years ago. I don't remember much of the goals in my teenage years or in my young adulthood. I had only one goal, to enter the university, just so that I could get education and then get my freedom. And it was my only goal. When I got into university, my goal was to finish university.
And get freedom from the
And
university.
get freedom from the university, that's right. So I don't think I even had a chance to enjoy the process of learning in the university. What I don't regret it, but if I had a chance, that I would go to university once again. That's what I think. Just to listen and learn.
Yeah, thinking about toxic goals, those might have been one of those.
Yeah.
Coming to the university, you get this now you need to finish it.
Yeah.
Don't enjoy it at the slightest.
Yes.
There is the end goal, and you need to push yourself and forsake your dignity and get this to the end.
Yeah, that's true. True. It's true to me. I think that if a few years ago I came across setting up SMART goals. Do you know this abbreviation, SMART?
I think about every time I go to bed.
What?
Right before I turn on Lord of the Rings audio, I think about SMART goals system.
Really?
Yes. Sleepy, mental, agitated, rational, time-bound. Yes.
What I was talking about is a bit different from your SMART abbreviation, but I really loved you.
Tell me.
So the idea I'm talking about is SMART goals. So SMART is an abbreviation where S stands for specific, M is measurable, A is achievable, R is realistic, and T is, I think, timeable, time, something with the time. So, yeah, I came across this abbreviation and the idea behind it, and I thought that it makes sense because this formula, yeah, I'll call it a formula. So this formula helped me to define goals from toxic and non-toxic. So let's say like this.
How do you apply it? How does it work? How do you take this system and apply it to a goal?
Well, yeah. For example, one of my goals is to work less, live more. A couple of weeks ago, I saw a post probably on Instagram about work-life imbalance. So the idea was that people should live in work-life imbalance and live more, work less. And that resonated with me. So I thought, yeah, I should work less, live more. So it is a specific goal for me because in this goal, I understand that I need to work less, live more. So I got to be more active with my life and got involved less with work, but still kind of be productive. And this goal, I'm not sure if it is measurable to me. So how do I measure? I haven't defined it yet, so I'm in the process. But it is achievable goal to me, and it is realistic. As for time, I define my own time. So for example, in a couple of months, let's say in 2 months, I want to work 4 hours a day and live 20 hours a day, like minus 8 hours of sleep. How do I measure it? Well, I measure it with my calendar right now. So I introduced a work schedule for myself, and I set up the hours when I work, when I'm available for communication with clients, and the rest of my time I try to focus more on actually living and enjoying the life. And one of the things that I got introduced into my life, I see your look, I see that you have something to say, but let me finish first, please. So one thing that changed since I got into this mindset of, hey, I should work less, live more, is that I got rid of mobile phones for the first hour and a half in the morning. So when I wake up, I don't check the phone, and I go around the house, I clean, I play with the cat, I feed cat. I don't usually go out in the morning, but that's my next idea. So I would like to try go out in the morning to spend time outdoors.
It's great that you are starting the day with living rather than going straight to work. And dog face is about the fact that I do know the extent where you are keeping to this regimen. I do not try to control it. This is something that is completely up to you. And like, if I see you working at 11 p.m., that is still fine. You had some work, you want to work, and you working. It is not always the work. I need to go to work. Our work is many times indistinguishable from research or the stuff that you want to read something online. You look like you're working if you're on the laptop. Mm-hmm. And me working would be oftentimes on the mobile. So am I playing a Candy Crush game, or am I responding in an email? Who knows? It's a game either way. I get something from it. Candy Crush say, hey, you've beat the level. And then when I send the email, I get the same small achievement. Yes, I replied. It's not easy for somebody who is introverted sometimes, and I I did catch myself procrastinating on emails and like even going into the inbox sometimes, because I know there would be one email where I need to reply and I don't want to reply to anyone. And this was the moment when I see, okay, if you don't have the energy to reply to a one client, maybe something is wrong with your energy balance. If I'm like, yeah, I can do a lot of things like watch YouTube for 6 hours straight, but then I don't have the energy to reply to a client. And I'm like, yeah, this is the issue that I need to bring up to our consciousness, and for first of all mine, to start noticing where my energy is really going to.
Mm-hmm.
Setting up goals.
Yeah, how do you approach setting up goals?
I think the first time I approached the system of setting up SMART goals was with my position for a company that was selling light fixtures, LED lighting systems, and this company was quite progressive for me at that point. I knew marketing, I sucked at communication. That was it. That was the premise. But I did know how to sell myself, so they hired me for a nice position, and they were super cool to onboard me, saying, yeah, here is how we do it, here is this SMART goals system, we adhere to it quite well, and here is the other rule that we have, and here is the how we do calls, and here is how we do notes. And I saw like, wow, you do have a lot of systems. And I just went on board saying, hey, yeah, systems, nice. Let's go for it. Let's do every goal SMART. Let's do every campaign SMART. And let's measure everything. It went well while we were on the goals front. But when it went to the relationships front, this company became a mess for me, really, because the systems that they had in place were business-oriented. Nothing about this company was people-oriented. People working for this company, making the product, shipping the product,
yeah.
But everything was about the other way of thinking. You're thinking how you sell more, how you get more product articles onto marketplaces in a way where they will be picked up by the algorithms, and your SMART goals starts to climb up. Okay, anyway, I did like the setting of those goals. I do not think I keep this structure in mind when I approach some goals. I think the whole focus that SMART goals system I previously used for is no longer super valid for me, and I at some point put a strategic, specific goal for me to get out of there. I cannot think of a business as in the same structure of like, my business is good if I get many clients and many monies and sell a lot of stuff. No, my business is good because of other factors. How do I like it? How the people inside those things like it? And it's a great topic by its own. How it's one of the challenges. So therefore, it's one of the stories that I can share. That would be really fun. But it's not the topic of today. So setting up goals as the energy balance. What Is the SMART goals system related to energy? Would be a goal that you set up using SMART scale more energy efficient for you, or give you more of your energy back when you reach it? So how do those like measurable, realistic communicate with energy for you?
For example, I have time in my timetable dedicated to my hobby, my sport. For example, every day at 9:30 a.m. I receive a notification, hey, it's sport time. Get to the yoga mat for 5 minutes. And yeah, to be honest, I often skip it. But when I come to the
Are
yoga
you
mat,
saying you're sleeping at this time?
yeah, oftentimes.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yes, it's some of your SMART goals are not aligned with yourself,
That's
or
true.
you are not aligned with some of your SMART goals.
Yes.
Okay, what happens when you do arrive to the yoga mat?
Well, when I do arrive for yoga mat for 5 minutes, I stay there for 15, 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, because I got really involved in what I'm doing, and I feel like pleasure out of it, because I feel like getting charged for the rest of the day. So it's a really good thing for me. I know it, but still sometimes I sacrifice this time for a bit longer sleep. Sometimes I postpone my workout till evening, so I kind of do not skip workout day, and it is every day in my calendar, so I work out every day according to my calendar. But in reality, sometimes I skip, sometimes I postpone till evening.
Okay, circling back to the SMART goals system, if those goals are measurable, and we know they are because you're tracking your time, you're tracking your routine on paper,
Yeah.
do you actually measure it? Can you say how many times previous 7 days you did go to sport?
No, actually I don't. But I know how to do it. I know another cool system that would help me actually measure it.
Oh, another system.
Yeah.
What kind? Is it like the card that you get in the coffee shop that stamp you every time you buy a
Yeah,
drink?
similar to it.
Huh?
Actually, yes. I forgot the name of this calendar. It was some smart dude who offered this idea to the world. So the idea behind it is that you have a calendar, like actually printed calendar for a month, where you mark each day when you did, like when, for example, when you did sport. I did sport on the 1st of October, on the 2nd of October, 3rd of October, and do you know what happens next?
4th of October.
That's true, but will you come on the 4th of October to sport?
Please don't come.
Do not come. I will come.
You will want to cross this thing
Yeah.
because it gives you a sense of achievement.
Yes, it releases dopamine.
Therefore, dopamine hit.
That's true. So you are going to keep marking and like attending every day your sport routine just because you want to cross out every single day so that it would look nice. So you have to put this calendar on some visible place where you can see it every day and enjoy like watching the progress. And I
Right.
think this system is really cool. And actually I'm thinking I should get this calendar to me and to attend sport.
Do you want me to buy a huge whiteboard and put it on one of the walls? Because this is something I wanted to do for a while. I know where to get it. In the next 15 minutes, I will be back with,
Huge whiteboard.
yeah.
That's not the first time. I think it's the 100th time Alex tells me about this whiteboard thing. Yes, please go on by it. Sure, there will be space for your calendar as well, right?
I got this on camera.
Yeah.
No,
I
I
admit.
don't want my calendar on the whiteboard. I will draw dick pics or something, cats. But this is whiteboard. The applications are everywhere. All right, but I do like the calendar trick, definitely. If you want to take this to extreme and maybe you need something more hardcore, you need like to push yourself. You know this is this super important thing and just like scribbling does not help. What do?
What?
You put your money on it. So for example, you get 100% achievement. If I don't do it more than 10%, the money I put in the box goes to charity.
Wow. And it's a good thing because you also have on the charity when you skip.
But the mechanics, you don't want to part with your money.
Yeah.
So you need to pick the charity that you don't really like.
Oh, that's that's how it works.
You cannot feel good about losing your money because you use it for motivation.
Yeah.
So if you don't like this particular charity, you bid your money and you try to keep on track, not to give them money because you will not have this money and you are not fond of this particular charity.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the trick how to amplify this exercise.
Wow. Cool.
Let's go to the next one. Making work rewarding. I think as a business, this particular challenge was on my priority list. I saw that for me, most of the work that I have been doing is not really rewarding. And the fact that I get a reward when I complete the work is not really enough for me to be doing it again and again and again. So it kind of becomes tiresome. I don't get the much out of it. So I get my energy and I was like, I need to do this task.
Yeah.
And I do this task. And I get little bit happy that I did make it.
So it's becoming a grunt work.
Yeah, so this feeling of enjoying was not there. And to get it back for me, because I knew it is super important for me to be enjoying my work if I want to even try and go there and be effective, be productive. If I'm only getting the reward for the fact the task is done, it looks to me that the whole thing becomes the product of my suffering. You know, cruelty-free products that we will pick if provided the chance.
Yeah.
The result of my work does not fall into this category. So
yeah,
I am being cruel to myself if I don't do it. So when I do it, I'm like, okay, I can not be cruel for me today. So this cruel work that I do to myself to make it, and it's like, oh no, this is not the way to do it. If I cannot enjoy my work, I would rather not do any work.
So you're telling me that you got stuck in this loop where you was suffering and you were cruel to yourself, didn't enjoy your work, but kept doing it, and you were not feeling rewarded for your work. So, did it change for you?
Yeah, I stopped doing the work.
Don't you work anymore?
I do work anymore.
So, how did you approach this? What did change for you?
I started the story. There are multiple thoughts.
Yeah.
So this was the first thought. I stopped doing the work completely, if I can.
Oh.
Because if I cannot enjoy this work, maybe there is some other work that I can get enjoyment from.
Mm-hmm.
So I started by removing work. So after I stopped working for a while, I started looking where my efforts will not only be useful for us as a company, but also get me some rewards. I don't think it was expressly this kind of situation being different, the accent were different. I think I had to reimagine my whole value structure, what I value in my work, how I perceive myself as effective. Because being effective, productive, is not always the same as understanding that you having the feeling that you are productive. So I started paying attention to what exactly gives me reward, how I feel when I do this, do I like this task, what can I do to make me enjoy this task because I see this task is nice and on point for the big picture that we are doing. If I can bring enjoyment to the important task, that's a win. If I don't get the enjoyment and the task still needs to be done, I would rather try to outsource it. Then there is also the idea of like 80-20.
Yeah.
20% of my efforts give me 80% of result. And I'm like, I have no idea. The people from the productivity YouTube tell me that to be productive, you need to be doing all the tasks. To be productive, you need to do, and then you make a list of shitload, and then you check every shitload every day because you are so energized to be working to 12 hours a day, and it's so fun, and you enjoying your life to the fullest because how effective you are.
That sounds extreme.
Yeah, so I saw that if I'm doing 80% stuff that I don't really need, it's not easy to find those things that I can quit. So I quit 100 and then started cherry picking the ones that I feel are in the upper 20.
Wow.
And doing only those. Only, specifically those that I see there is so much I can get from it.
I see you got emotional talking about it. Wow.
Yes, this is emotional. This is personal. Me against my work. I used to be punishing myself for not doing tiny tasks because they are there and I know they are there. But what changed in the big picture? Nothing. Did this small task move the result to any kind of valuable degree? No. But I was still punishing myself like crazy because of not doing it or not doing it exactly when I told myself to do it, and suffering the cruelty from myself for not doing stuff that was meaningless. When
Wow.
I'm saying I was not doing anything, I'm not saying it was a huge period. Maybe it was a day I was not doing anything. I was sitting in my depression corner, reevaluating stuff, or thinking about stuff, or just getting new information. Where are the values I need to be pursuing? And when exactly on the business front is the 20% that gives that result resides? I don't know. So finding information was the work as itself. Enough about me. What's with you and making your work rewarding? Were you lucky enough to have this on the surface? Oh, I do the work and it's delicious and I like doing it just because of the fun of it? Or how is it for you?
Should I tell how it used to be and how it is now? Or
No, keep it secret, keep it safe.
okay, all is good. No, honestly, it used to be terrible for me because I was struggling a lot with not seeing that the work itself can be enjoyable. So I was enjoying only the results, and I was doing the work only to get the results. So I couldn't even know that I can sense any kind of joy from the process. But it changed when I started working in web design and later in web development sphere. It was my passion. I was always passionate about creating stuff like in programs such as Adobe Photoshop. And when I got to learn Figma, I got so interested and I was really enjoying learning every new skill. And till this very day, I feel so much joy when I develop a website. And I feel like, hey, I'm doing what I like. I really enjoy developing the things that I already know how to do them. But at the same time, every time I have a challenge and I don't know how to develop something, I get to learn it. And it also brings me joy because, hey, I learned new skill. Wow, I got a little bit smarter today. And this happens almost every day. Almost every day I learn something new. A little tiny bit of some new information makes me already happy.
A bit?
Even a little tiny bit of new information, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, but sometimes I'm struggling. I'm still struggling sometimes because there are some projects that are complicated and sometimes I get tired working on the same website over and over again with like endless updates. It happens rarely. I have only one client on my mind right now.
I think I changed my perspective about that client.
Yeah, me too.
I think now it's my favorite client. They made the commitment to stick with us for a year, to be doing constant updates on their website.
Yes.
Yes, this is not the way we proposed working with them, but this is their path, and I'm happy we can support them for as long as they want us.
Yeah, and from my side, I can tell you that I learned a lot on this project. I understand we are talking about the same client now.
Yes, we're talking about the same, our favorite client.
Yes, yes. So yeah, there is a struggle sometimes for me because I really want to finish something and it never finishes. This project never finishes. So I got into this trap thinking that, oh, when I finish, I got free of it and I will feel like free.
What kind of challenges are too big for you?
I'd say for me the most challenging part in my work is to communicate what I can develop and what I cannot. Because I'm not a coder, but I know a little bit of coding and JavaScript. But when a client comes to me and says, hey, we want this feature, and I understand that, oh my God, this would take me weeks to develop, not a few minutes or hours, how it usually is with Webflow. Because I know that I don't understand this topic. For example, API. When the client came to me and said, hey, we want to integrate this with API, I started reading API documentation and I realized that I cannot do it. I cannot even comprehend it. I don't have any background to understand it. So I need to go to some school, to some online course, to YouTube to learn about it. And it will take me lots of hours because I don't understand anything
Maybe
there.
even 3.
Maybe even 3.
Oh no, there is like something to read, courses.
That's why I'm lucky. I have you who can communicate
So
all of
I
this.
kind of alleviate this challenge and frustration.
Yes, because I feel struggling a lot communicating all of this that you've just said. So
I'm glad to hear that you basically love your work and you get the reward for doing it and you're enjoying the process. Okay, let's wrap it up. I loved how it went. Setting goals, making work rewarding. We shared a couple of stories. We will leave some of them in there. Thanks for joining me.
Wait.
Lenny. Oh,
Yep.
thank you. You're so kind. And elbow up.
Okay.
No, the elbow.
Hey.
Thank you so much. So, setting up goals, making work rewarding.
Thank you, Alex, for this conversation. I really enjoyed talking to you and learning your perspective on work-life energy and like for making the work rewarding. Thank you for sharing your stories. And thank me for sharing my stories because, yeah, I'm still learning to share and to storytell. And thanks to our audience. Thank you so much for listening and for joining us for this episode. We'll talk to you in the next series. So stay tuned, subscribe, and yeah, let us know where are you right now in your work-life
Do you
balance?
use SMART goals? Do you use dumb goals? Do you use dumbbells? The topic of the next discussion would be sport for energy balance in Elish agency and small business.
Awesome. I can't wait. See you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Bye.
Let's go get the couch. Oh, Kid does not need couch. Kid already has couch. Couch is done.